Hello, everyone. Welcome. Rachel Freemon Sowers here. And I actually forgot to turn on my mic. So I'm just going to make sure that I have the right audio going right now. All right. So that should be good. All right. Fantastic. Welcome to this episode of the Rachel Freemon Sowers Show. Make sure to say hello to me and let me know where you are joining me from tonight. So I have this little confession. I actually am feeling a little nervous about tonight's show. And I've done a lot of live and recorded video. And so I haven't really been nervous for a while, but tonight is really something I'm sharing that has really happened to me. It's not a gimmick. It's not blowing anything out of proportion. If you've seen some of the posts, you can see some of the results that I've gotten in the last couple of months. And going from 2020 into 2021 has been a transition for sure. And yet these are some of the things that I've been working towards for a really long time. And now that I'm actually achieving what I wanted to achieve this whole entire time, I asked myself, what were the things that allowed me to achieve that? But before I dive into that, I would love to let you know that those of you who joined me for the video content, the 10 things of, I can't even remember it now. Like my brain is really struggling tonight. Anyway, those 10 things that we reviewed on how you can engage your audience, attract and connect with and convert your audience into paying clients. So I told you on that video that I was going to create a PDF. And guess what? I have done it. So if you are wanting to get that PDF, what it's going to really do for you, this is a deep dive. So this isn't like, oh, here's 10 things, 10 topics to talk about. This resource is an in-depth resource that gives you 10 different video content ideas. Now, it's not only giving you the idea, but what it is also doing is breaking down why this works and how it works. So if you've been hanging out here for very long, you know I love neuroscience. You know I love emotional intelligence. And being a therapist for 18 years, I've used these tactics and skills to help people really create the best lives that they can. So what I've done is taken these hacks and given them to the clients that I'm working with. So this resource is really substantial and it's juicy and you're going to want it. I just have to say that. So where you can find it is at rachelfreemonsowers.com/10-day video content guide. All right. So rachelfreemonsowers.com/10-day video content guide. That's where you're going to be able to find that. Go get it, download it. Once you download it, I'd love to hear what you're thinking about it. Send me an email, send me a DM, and let me know. All right. So here we go. I'm just going to start with the story about how I discovered this. So it was actually, for the last 2.5 months, I've really been concentrating on pivoting my business and really doing the things that are revenue producing. However, that's not the only things that I've done. So I've been working slow and steady. I'm not one that rushes and that gets rich quick kind of thing. You know, I'm here for the long haul, as all of you know. And this last Sunday, I sat down. I can't even talk. It's like so nervous. Like, give me like some thumbs up and hearts because I don't know what's going on right now. Anyway, okay. Hey, Deb, I'm so happy you're here. I saw your video. Okay, I can't get distracted. So Sunday is the day that I go into my planner and I map out my whole week. So I have a paper planner and I use my Google Calendar. Those two things kind of are in operation because I still love paper and I use it electronically where I find all my client appointments and things like that in Google. And I sat down and I was mapping it out, and literally I was like, oh my gosh, like, where is all this time coming from? So I was even talking to my peak performance partner, Eric, and I was like, look, I have 7 free hours on this day. This is after I filled in my client appointments. This is after I've filled in my own coaching appointments. It's where I filled in other meetings like with Eric and with Sarah. And still, after all of that, I had like 5 hours Monday, 7 hours Tuesday, 5 hours Wednesday. And I was like, I was kind of in shock. How many of you have ever realized something and it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, like the thing that you wanted to happen is actually happening? Give me a yes in the comments if you have experienced this kind of phenomena. And it's not really a phenomena because we're working towards these goals every day, but it really is deciding to take the things that will move the needle for you. And in the last 2.5 months, I have created over $18,000 of revenue in my business. Now, I've never been able to do that before now in my business. It is mind-boggling. And that's why, like, I'm not here rubbing it into anybody's face. But what I want you to get from it is that there's things you can do for you to reach whatever your income goal is. The other thing is that I almost went through stress withdrawal because it was like, I'm not sitting here trying to remember every single detail. I'm not sitting here stressed out, wondering where I'm going to find the time, or not being able to just sit with my wife at nighttime, to not, do these other things. Oh, maybe I have time for a walk, but I'm going to sneak in a super short walk because, I have this amount of time in between these clients and I'm going here and I'm going there. How many of you have ever felt that? And for me in my ADD brain, because I have an ADD brain, it is those little details that weigh down the energy that cause me to just feel overwhelmed and overloaded. And when I looked at my calendar, I was like, literally, what am I going to do? And when I was talking to Sarah, my VA, who's in New Zealand, she's like, well, Rachel, I have some things that you can do. It was so funny. I was like, I know that there's things I can do, but it was like a shock. It was an initial shock. All right. So the things that I thought were not the truth until I decided that I wasn't going to take them as truth. So I have been doing, I chose 5 things that I was going to do. Each of these decisions was conscious. It was a stretch. It was scary and exciting all at the same time because you can have both of those. It was my truth that I knew I needed to do. And as always, there are people that are sitting in the wings waiting to say, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And every single time someone asks me that, I know that my truth is, yes, I am sure. How many of you have ever made a decision in your lives, in your businesses, it doesn't matter where the doubters and the naysayers or the people like, well, is that really safe? Are you going to have enough income? All of these things. And you did what you knew you should do, and you've come out on the other side saying yes, which then affirms that you trust yourself. So I want to share these 5 things with you in hopes that maybe you can see how one of these things might help you. Now, you may not want to do or want to have the same things that I have. Right now in my life, it is important for me to finally cross the threshold into prosperity and abundance in a way I never have before. It's important to me to be able to take care of my health and well-being right now more than ever. And I did a post that said, I don't want to what I wish I would have, or I should have done this when I am on my deathbed. I want to live my life right now exactly the way that I want to. And I want to help other people in the process. So let's start with the 5 things. I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in the order of, for me, the importance. So here's number 1. I dedicated myself to planning more. Now, I love doing live video because I can do it on the fly. I have all these ideas come to me. But what I did was started intentional planning on the things that I wanted to commit to. One of the things I wanted to commit to is this show, the Rachel Freemon Sowers Show. People's like, oh, don't call it that. What are you going to talk about? Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. I just started doing it and I've committed to it. The other thing is I dedicate 20 minutes of the beginning and or the end of my day to planning the next day. So I'm not skipping. I know what's coming up. I know where my energy goes. I know I'm being intentional about where I'm directing it because there are results that I absolutely want. So that's 5. Number 4 is I released the fear of missing out. I was with a group of women yesterday, and this one's like, well, I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to do that, and I'm supposed to do this, and that's how I'm supposed to do Instagram, and I have to do all these things, but none of them fit me. None of them are in alignment. And I stopped really paying attention to what everyone else was doing and told me, and worked and all that input that comes, well, you have to do it like this. And if you don't do it like this, I've released the fear of missing out on what they may have been experiencing or may not have been experiencing, right? Or what they said they were experiencing, to trust myself. The way I have done this is I have grounded myself every single day, and I do journal every single morning. I reflect what my inner knowing is so that I can take that and bring it throughout my day. Now, some people say journaling isn't for me. That's fine. If journaling isn't for you, it's not a problem. But find a way to ground yourself. Find a way to stay grounded so that you can move forward that step by step by step. Because it is not very often that we make these huge leaps. It is the everyday activities. The grounding yourself when you have those moments of fear and doubt and scarcity and oh shit. They will happen. They happen to me. But when I'm grounded, they don't disrupt my progress. They're there and then they're gone. So how many of you right now have a routine for grounding yourself? Every single time I go out in nature and I walk, I have these ideas come to me. And that's why today, I did that live video about gratitude. I had this moment today, and I have so many of those moments. And, it creates this really fulfilling life. So number 4 is release FOMO, the fear of missing out, the comparison, the whatever. I created this number 3. I created a deep focus on the revenue building activities that only I can do. So when you're a one-woman show, how many of you, give me a yes in the comments, do it all? You do your social media, you do your emails, you do your newsletters, you do your content, you do everything. It's all on you. And we can get really bogged down by all of the things that we're supposed to be doing. But not all of the things are revenue producing things. So from the very beginning of me starting this part of my business, it's been about relationship building. Relationship building in certain ways allows me to create revenue. So when people ask about my business, I talk to them. I don't have a sales team that talks to them. I don't have someone else do it. It's me, because they're going to be working with me, right? I started batching my time on these revenue activities. So the 10-day video content planning guide was something that only I could do. Only I could write that because it came out of my brain, right? So I batched time for that. I batched time for seeing my clients. I batched time for responding to people who DM me and email me. I batched time for video. Video has been the number one propellant in my business. You know, when I had a private practice and even when I had a private practice, I started doing some video. But it has been the number one propellant in my online business. It is the way people get to know me the fastest. It is the way they find me. I had a woman say, I don't know how I found you, but I really enjoyed all of your content. I made a post out of it. You'll see it in a little bit. But I'm so glad I did. Like, I get these messages and emails a lot. So I started batching my time. I created the best environment for my brain to work. I don't do well when I switch tasks all the time. So batching the revenue activities, communicating with people, creating videos, making sure I am out in the community talking to people. All of these revenue producing. You may have noticed that sometimes I will go a week with hardly any social media content because that's not my priority. My priority is onboarding clients. And even this last week or whatever, when I onboarded 2 new clients, that took precedent over this 10-day video content planning guide because they are my priority now. So it's not the fear of missing out. All right. Number 2, I hired more people to help me. I cannot tell you the shift this has created. So Sarah, my VA from New Zealand, and I have been together for almost 4 years now. 4 years. She's been with me from the very beginning. And what I needed was another virtual assistant to help me in a different area, to do all of the behind the scenes kind of uploading, downloading, transferring information to documents, all these things so I could provide my clients with the best service possible. So all of my clients get responses from me within 24 to 48 hours of any question. When we have a session, they get all of their resources, their transcripts, their videos, their audio, their session summary within 24 to 48 hours of the session. This is my promise to them because I want them to be able to move forward. So I hired someone to do all of that behind the scenes. And the first night, I didn't have to do all of that, like spend time uploading and downloading, trying to remember every single detail. The freedom just literally was euphoric. It was like, I don't have to do all that. It's just being taken care of for me. So if you haven't hired someone to help you, I would really encourage you to consider, if you're saying, I don't have the money to hire someone, there's lots of different ways that you can do it. But then it is really about focusing on the revenue producing activities. It's not about getting your IG profile up before you talk to people, right? It's about knowing where to prioritize. And your website, yeah, websites are fine, but the majority of my traffic doesn't come from my website. So there's different ways that you can do that. Okay, so 2 was hire a team. I got to turn the page over. Number 1. Okay, so number 1 was huge for me. It wasn't a decision I made lightly, but it was the number 1 decision I knew I needed to make. And I've been knowing I needed to make it for a while. But I've been really picky about who I chose to make this decision with. So I hired a mentor. So I hired my own coach. Now, this was a very large investment for me. And I was introduced to this person probably 6 months ago now. And what I did was I registered or participated in a smaller kind of group coaching program. It was like 10 weeks or something. And at that moment, I decided I'm going to really participate with this coach, and I'm going to do these things in my business because I want to pivot and I want to make it successful. So in those 10 weeks, I showed up every single week. I did what I said I was going to do for myself first. She helped hold me accountable. Yeah, imagine that, right? Holding Rachel Freemon accountable. And I made a ton of progress. So that made me say, okay, I can do this. Within that amount of time, I had enough of the Visible with Video Accelerator done to start onboarding clients. I wanted to pay cash for her services. I didn't want to go into debt for them. So I had a goal, and I focused on the revenue activities that would bring that goal into reality. I manifested it by working and by having faith and trust in myself. So I paid cash for the program and had some left over. And now within the program that I'm in, I've already doubled that amount. So the mentor helped me with things I didn't know. So if any of you have ever worked with me before, I am not someone who doesn't give advice. I mean, my clients work with me because I have the knowledge about something that they don't have. And it's my duty and my honor to help them get this knowledge so they can have the business that they want, so they can have the revenue that they want, so they can create the massive positive impact that they want to be creating. And when you hire a mentor and you trust yourself with that process and you choose the right mentor, I won't be the right mentor for everyone. But if you are really looking to move your business forward with video and you just can't seem to get there, or you can't seem to be consistent, or you feel like you're not sure of how to make a system work for you or develop your own system, I can help you. Make sure to reach out to me. Go to rachelfreemansowers.com and sign up for a free 20-minute just consultation that will help us get to know if I can help you. So then I paid cash. And since then, because I'm surrounded by other women who are massively moving their businesses forward, I now can move my business forward even more because I'm in that energetic space. So how many of you have actually ever hired someone to mentor you, to help you through a time? And were you able to move? Because when you're looking for a mentor, you're looking for someone that doesn't match you all the way. I didn't choose this woman because she matched me. It's that she was having other things that were opposite of me. And she actually said, when is your lead magnet, or when is the 10 days of video content planning resource going to be done? I said, this day. She's like, so are you serious? Like, I'm going to keep hounding you. I'm going to keep writing you on this so we can get this done, because people need to see it. They need to know about it. It's good. So being willing to be coached like that, being willing to say, I need your help. I like her because she will give me advice. I don't know everything, and she is there to teach me. But I don't want it to be like, well, how are you feeling about this? And do you really need to, no, I don't want that. Just tell me. And then I'm going to take it and run with it. So the number one thing I've done is hire a mentor. And I can't wait to introduce you all to her. We'll see how that goes in the future. All right. So what does any of this have to do with video? Because my number one mission is to help female entrepreneurs create this massive growth in their audiences with video by using neuroscience and emotional intelligence hacks that are going to allow them to really attract and connect with and convert their audience into paying clients, right? So the way that I've done all this, the way I made it to here, the number one thing I've done is be on video. I'm wondering how many of you have found me because of a video. Or maybe you've seen me do a speaking event, but I am up, out, and in front of people. And right now, video is the number one way to grow your audience, and especially have them know whether you're for them or whether you're not for them. People want to get to know you. People want to know what your values are. They want to see your face. They want to look into your eyes and know that this is real. When I decided to finally take these steps to start creating my own wealth and an increase of my energy and increasing my attention to revenue producing activities, then I started getting these massive, massive results. So video can help you do that. If you don't want to be on video, that's totally fine. You can still use these 5 things and take them. But if you're really ready to get these results, then I would encourage you to contact me. So those are the 5 things that I have done to create massive, for me, up until now, to create and continue to create wealth in my life and in my business. Continue to create that energy so that I can have more health and wellness and more concentrated, deep focus. And it's also created this feeling of abundance of time. So if you're wanting any of those 3 things, I'd encourage you to give these 5 things a try. All right, so we're at the end of our time here, and I would love to hear from you which one of these 5 things you want to take away. Which one of these 5 things are you really going to allow yourself to trust and have faith in your own intuition, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter, and take those steps that you actually need to take. It can feel scary, but it also can feel exciting. And when you trust yourself, there is really no going back. So hopefully some of you have found this video inspiring. Let me know in the comments if you have, whether you're watching the live or the recorded version of this video. So I'll leave you with this. As I always say at the end of every single video, make sure to stay true to yourself, be kind to others, and always, always, always honor the wise one that is within you. I hope to see you all next Wednesday on the Rachel Freeman Sowers live show. And until then, feel free to reach out to me. Talk soon. Bye.